Okay, we're talking on this channel about relationships and dating and first dates that don't turn out the way we would like them to. But if we're going to talk about, or I should say, if I'm going to talk about all of the times that dates went left field because of something someone else did or said, then I should be, in all fairness, willing to share when I was the one that was the asshole. Okay. So this is going to be a little break from, no, it's him, or it's them. No, sometimes it's us. Now for this one, it did stem from an online interaction, so I want to say that up front. But I met a gentleman that was, and I mean, most of the people that I meet through these mediums, um, they're gentlemanly, carry themselves well. They're nice looking. I mean, I do talk to them or I email them or text them before. Well, I couldn't say text because this is before that time, but I have had some type of conversation with them to see how everything would go. Well, this young gentleman was a psychologist and very very tall. He was like 6'6". I'm like 5'6", and very good looking, of course, a professional. And at that time, I was teaching parenting classes at a university. So, we were both in different fields, but both dealing with the public. And we'd gone on a few dates. It's really nice. I had been to his house on one occasion for dinner, which he had prepared, which was really nice. And we'd gone out, a few times. Anyway, just let me get to the story. I'm trying to stall here because I was the one that fought. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, you already know I date for quite a bit of a while before, you know, before I even kiss anyone. I don't even know why I whispered when I said kiss. But because kissing is for me a very intimate action. So it's not like you're going to get kissed on the first date or anything like that. But anyway, we had gotten to we had gone out maybe 4 or 5 times. So it's like, okay, we're no longer on the first date. And he's at this point probably wondering what the hell is going on. And so we had a good night, gone out, talked, laughed, and we were, back at my place. Well, he was dropping me off at my place. And at the front door, I mean, which is a normal thing to do, he leaned in, for a kiss. You guys are gonna wonder what the hell was wrong with me. Now you have to remember, by this time I'd been married and divorced, so it wasn't like it was my first date. Um, but so as he leaned in to do it, I was kind of anticipating it because I was like, okay, it makes sense. This is the natural flow of things. But just before he got to my lips, I turned and he landed on my cheek. Jeez, this is kind of embarrassing now that I think about it because I wasn't a 14-year-old girl, but not that 14-year-old girls should be dating, but I won't get off into that. Um, so he was like, "What's wrong?" I guess I should have said in the beginning of the story that this guy was Jewish. And it wasn't like he just sprung that on me. We had already, I mean, we were dating, so not dating, but we had culminating the relationship. So, and before anyone says anything, I I s- see people as people, and I know we have such a great divide now in the country, and we probably always have. I'll say that, but I never subscribe to any of that kind of thinking. You know what? I'm using the word never, but you should never say never. So I'm sure at some point, growing up in the city of Detroit during the turbulent times of that city, there were instances where race relations were looked at, probably thought about, depending on what situation you found yourself in or with who you're who you're in a relationship with. But for me, I was like, I mean, it didn't matter. I didn't care about any of that. At least I thought I did. And I am definitely not a race baiter. So if something were to happen to me, I don't say, it's because I'm black or I'm female or I'm overweight or I'm a single mom or whatever. I just, those thoughts don't occur to me. My whole thing is we really are able to do and be whatever we want in this day and age. So we're not talking about, I'm not going to bring up the past and things that happened to one race or one culture that didn't happen to another. I'm saying in today, and at this time, that would have been in the not late 90s, maybe early 2000s. You really do and are and still are able to be and do and achieve whatever you would like to do. You just have to put in the work and you have to put in, sometimes the study or the education, but whatever it is, it's not like we have signs now that says blacks not allowed. So that being said, he asked me what was wrong. And I said, I thought that, I could kiss you. I said, but in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, if we were in a different day and time, you would actually own me and I wouldn't have the right to say whether you could or not. And you guys, the look on his face, the look of, first of all, shock and sheer disappointment in that statement. I, I mean, I'll never forget it. Never. And he was really hurt. And he said, first of all, you already know that I'm Jewish. True. And then he said, second of all, the Jews did not own slaves. Correction. They did, but everyone did. So, I mean, even African Americans owned slaves. So let's just get that up front. A lot of people think black people didn't own slaves. Well, they did. But anyway, when I saw that look on his face, I was like, that's the end of this this whole thing. And like I said, I just don't think in those terms. I don't say, "Oh, you would have owned me," or "I could have been a slave." I normally don't do any of that, but we were trying to get into this relationship that I thought I would be comfortable with. And sometimes people worry about what other people think or anything. None of that had crossed my mind the whole time he and I had been going out together. I mean, so yeah, you would get the stares because even today, sometimes people do that when they see mixed couples. Those things didn't cross my mind, and it wasn't like I had even thought about it up to that point. So anyway, I was the asshole on that one. And of course I apologized, but I mean sometimes when the damage is done, it's irreparable, irreparable. I guess either of those two would work. But again, just by the look on his face, and then even the way that I felt, I was like, what an idiot thing to say. Even worse, what an idiot way to feel. But I wanted to share that story because when you look at my previous videos, of course, you can see the knuckleheads and the lies and the schemes and the way they try to get over on people. But again, as I said, it's important for us to show our missteps, our errors, and the times when we've fallen short of our own expectations. And for me, trust me, I have fallen so below that my own expectation that I mean, for weeks afterwards, I wondered where that came from for me. Because as I said, I'm not a race baiter or a race hater, any of that. And I was just so surprised that I said that. And I still, to this day, I'm not sure if I said it because I was nervous that the relationship was going to another level. And with me being the slow moving ass that I am, I probably just wasn't ready for that. And that was a way for me to kind of, put the stop to everything. But anyway, I wanted to share this one with you. And of course, as I normally do, ask you to like and subscribe this video. But more importantly, put in the comments what you would have done, or if you've had similar situations where you thought you can get past a certain thing, and when the metal was put to the metal, when the pedal was put to the metal, you found out maybe I'm not ready for this, or maybe this is more convoluted than I thought it would be, or more complicated, or I haven't gotten to the place where I needed to be. Now, of course, that wouldn't bother me today, and it doesn't. And that was a real major lesson for me in my life. Um, yeah, I can't believe I'm sharing this. Okay, so that's it for that one. This is a pretty short one, and I know what people are going to say. Oh, now that she's made an error, her videos are only 10, 11 minutes, but when she's talking about these other things, they're 20 minutes long. But the real fact of the matter is, those did have to have more detail with them and everything. This one was just a little short um, time in my life, and I didn't. I mean, we didn't. I mean, he did call me a few more times after that. And like I said, I had apologized, but that was that for that. I was like, well, there's no sense of trying to pursue that if I'm having whatever issues I was having at the time dealing with that. So that's that. Like I said, sometimes the problem isn't out there, it's in here with us. And I wanted to share that with you, all of you. So I will see you at the next video. And I will, now that I'm thinking about it, share some of the missteps that I made on some of these online dates because the guys are probably also thinking, what the hell? So, okay, talk to you later.